Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to Single Lady Chronicles. Single Lady Chronicles. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited for you to be here. We are continuing in our series of making sure that we get done in the first quarter of 2026. The goals, not get done, but make sure that we set ourselves up, that we accomplish our goals all 2026 in this first quarter. Last week, we talked about how when we get to the middle, we quit. But we're not going to do that, right? So today, we are talking about how discipline is self respect and how to reinvigorate ourselves when we lose our momentum. All right. We're not going to do that either. Okay. So, you know, stuff happens, life happens, but what matters is what you do in those moments. Right. So let's just go ahead and get into it. All right. So we are just asking the real question. How do we reinvigorate ourselves when we lose our momentum? Because discipline is self-respect. So losing momentum happens. Trust me when I tell you. All right. You start drinking your water, then you forget to drink your water. You bought the stuff and now it has dust on it. I get it. I get it. We lose our momentum. And again, I'm not just doing this for y'all, I'm doing this for me. And why am I doing this for me? Because I want to make sure I get to where I say I want to be. Because, I'm destined for greatness. You're destined for greatness. We are all destined for greatness. And we just need tools in our bag to make sure we get there. Right? So nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. Not me, not Oprah, not Mel Robbins, not Brene Brown. Okay? No, not Al Sharpton. Nobody is perfect. Everyone gets to those places where, they're like feeling stagnant and they're feeling like they've lost their way. Nobody is perfect. But what happens is what you do when you get there. Okay? You keep spending that money when you know you're supposed to be saving. The scale goes up and you're like, oh, well, let me eat the cake. And then again, you get those construction materials so you can fix that garage and they start getting dusty, right? I get it. I get it. There are some things that you put off, but that's what losing momentum is. That's what losing momentum is. So you get tired, you get distracted, you get discouraged, and sometimes you just stop. Sometimes you just stop. But losing momentum isn't the problem. It's not losing your momentum. What do you think it is? It's not losing your momentum. It's not being disciplined. It's not being disciplined. That's all. That's it. That's all. And we're weaving discipline into this first quarter so we can have some momentum for 2026. So you have to figure out what happens after you identify that problem. Okay. You know what also happens after you identify that problem? Shame. Shame. We begin a shame spiral that says, oh, I didn't make it. I can't stick to nothing. I always quit. Why do I even try? That also is a pity party. No, we are not giving ourselves a pity party. We start comparing ourselves to what other people are doing online. And let me tell you something, and I'm going to tell you this firsthand. The folks who are getting all the likes, the folks who are getting all the views, the folks who are getting all the, and let me tell you something. They broke. But it's not even about them being broke, right? Um, it's about you comparing yourself to what you think might be happening with their lives that you quote unquote want, but it's really not. It's really not. And so stop comparing yourself. Stop comparing yourself. I stopped comparing myself to whatever so and so got going on social media because a lot of it isn't real. And a lot of it isn't what you really, what you really think it is. So, and then you start saying to yourself, well, I should be here by now. I should be there by now. Stop shaming yourself. Stop shaming yourself. Get out of that shame spiral and discipline yourself so that you can get to where you want to be. Okay? The other thing is the only person you need to be in competition with is yourself. Mhm. Right. Is yourself. And the only person you should be worried about disappointing is yourself. All right? So don't worry about, you know, what's going on other people's pages, and don't worry about, what's going on with what somebody else has going on, because you are in competition with yourself. You should only be worried about what's going on with you. And so with that, how do we remedy? We have to be disciplined. We have to be disciplined. A lot of people think discipline is punishment. It's not. It's just you making sure you put things in place so that you can accomplish your goals. And how do we do that? We have to keep our promises to ourselves. That's that's real trust. That's real self-trust. Every time you show up for yourself, even in a small way, you build self-trust. I have to tell myself every day, Rhenotha, fill that jug up. Fill that jug up with your gallon jug with water, and you better drink it. That's discipline. I have to say to myself, Rhenotha, you make sure you record that show, because discipline is self-respect. Discipline is going to help me get to my goal. Discipline is going to help me get to my eventual TV show, right? Consistency is going to help me get to where I want to be. And whether I show up for myself or not, it's only going to impact me. And so I have to put myself in a mind frame that in order for me to be where I want to be, I have to show myself some self-respect and be disciplined in doing the things that I want to do and getting the things that I want to get accomplished. So you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself. I owe it to myself to accomplish my goals. You owe it to yourself to accomplish your goals, because discipline is self-respect. Now, how do you reinvigorate momentum? Write these down, baby. Write these down. When you just completely stopped, start small again. Start small again. Don't restart with the biggest version. We've had this conversation. Don't restart with the biggest version of the goal. Restart with the smallest version. Momentum loves small beginnings. That's easy. You don't have to start with the biggest thing, right? Momentum dies because you stayed stopped. You stayed stopped. So when you start again, start small. Write this one down. Remove the drama. Let me tell you something. When I first started Single Lady Chronicles, and I think I told you this, I thought I needed a big old production crew. I needed a producer, executive producer. I needed someone to help me edit. I thought I needed a whole bunch of things, right? When I started my wellness journey, I thought I needed a gym membership. I thought I needed all this equipment. I Listen, you don't need all that. You don't need all that. When if you want to write a book, just start writing. You can start writing on your phone. You don't need all the fancy schmancy, okay? Remove all that drama. Remove all that drama, because that's all it's doing, is creating drama and creating barriers for you to get to where you want to be. You see the things that you think you need, and guess what? That is you creating a barrier for yourself. That is me creating a barrier for myself. And that is also called ding, 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 ding. Excuses, 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 right? Get rid of all that drama. Restarting doesn't require a big announcement. Just start. Just start again. Just start again. That's it. That's all. So forgive yourself quickly. You cannot build discipline while carrying shame. What you do today counts. What you do today counts. You drink that water. You put some notes in your phone, right? You go outside in that garage and you start organizing what's in the garage so that you can get that project done in the garage. You pull your phone out and you start filming. Don't worry about fancy editing. Don't worry about logos or brand names or all of that. You just get started. You forgive yourself and you just keep it moving. Okay? What you do today counts. And it's adding to your momentum. Oh my goodness. I think I'm preaching to myself. My God. Now, write this down. Focus on identity. Instead of saying, I'm trying to reach this goal, you're going to say, I'm becoming someone who shows up. Come here. We're not trying to do nothing. We're just going to do. We're just going to do. We're going to show up for ourselves, and we're going to accomplish our goals. I'm going to start over. I'm going to do those again. Start small again. It's okay. It is okay, honey. Start small again. There's nothing wrong with it. Restart with the smallest version of what you want that goal to be. And the smallest version of you fixing that garage project is going outside and organizing what's in that garage. It could probably be a mess in there. So the first step is just organizing it. Okay? Your first step to your wellness journey is going outside and walking around the block. Or it could be intentionally making sure you have your water filled up every day. Okay? The first step to you writing that book is pulling out your phone and jotting down your notes. First step, small. Number 2, remove the drama. You don't need a fancy website. You don't need workout equipment. You don't need a big old publisher or an executive producer, okay? Remove all that drama. Just start. Just start. Forgive yourself quickly, okay? What you do today counts. It counts. So forgive yourself. Don't worry about what you didn't do. I'm not worrying about what I didn't do. What I'm doing today counts. So I'm going to forgive myself. And focus on identity, meaning I'm not going to say, I'm going to try to do this little thing. No, okay? I'm becoming someone who shows up and who is present and who gets the thing done. Yep. So discipline is self-respect. That's it. Discipline is self-respect. It's about respecting yourself enough to begin again. And there's nothing wrong with starting over. Not at all, right? I'm sure we probably had this same conversation last year and the year before and the year before. But as long as you are still breathing, as long as you are still alive, it is never too late to get done what you want to get done. Okay? I'm going to go back to I'm going to go back to momentum died because you stayed stopped. That's why momentum dies. You forgot about it. You shamed your way into stopping, right? We're going to get out of staying stopped. We're going to have some self-respect for ourselves and apply discipline to making sure that we accomplish our goals. Momentum comes and goes. Let me see. An object in motion stays in motion. Baby, that's physics. Right? An object in motion stays in motion. You have to decide that you want to stay in motion. You have to decide that you want to get to where you want to be. And when discipline becomes self-respect, you stop quitting on yourself. We stop quitting on ourselves. Yeah. I'm no longer quitting on myself anymore. Put that in the chat right now. Put it in the chat. I'm no longer quitting on myself anymore. Say it. Say it to yourself. I am no longer quitting on myself anymore because I have enough self-respect for myself to get to where I want to be. That changes everything. When you decide that you're not going to quit, when you decide that you're not going to stay stopped, when you decide that what I do today matters, that's when the light bulb goes off. That's when things change for you. When you decide that I am my own competition, I can't worry about what everybody else is doing, that's when things start to change. You have to make that decision to be disciplined enough to show yourself some self-respect. Thank you for tuning in to Single Lady Chronicles. Listen, we're going to keep it going, keep the train going all month long until the end of March on making sure that we accomplish our goals for 2026. Because we are tired of this hamster wheel. We're tired of this hamster wheel of starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping. I'm talking to myself, right? There's some things we got to do, and we're going to get them done. Thank you for tuning in to Single Lady Chronicles. I will see you next week because we are accomplishing our goals for this first quarter of the year. Y'all have a good night.